Hi, I'm Jeff. This is Tropical Plants at 53 degrees north. Now it is ridiculously hot today. We've only got a couple of days of it and then we're back to wall-to-wall clouds and rain and the usual UK fare. So while I've opened everything up, I've got all the doors, vents, louvre windows, and of course got the hose pipe spraying on everything, just in an attempt to try and keep the temperatures down. It's still well over 30 in here. It's about 32, 34. Give it a spray, that usually brings it down to about 28, 29, but it doesn't last very long. So there's not a great deal in bloom, but for what it's worth, I'm going to show you what's in bloom for the beginning of July. So let's dive in. And we're in. So just to give you a view that you don't normally get, I don't know if you can cast your mind back right the way to November when there was nothing in here. So this is what we're looking like now with the doors off. There is no cold side anymore, there is no warm side, there's just one very hot greenhouse at the moment. So I think I might leave it like this for a while at least until the temperatures start to change again. So we're going to start over in the cold side, which is currently 30 degrees Celsius. So these were the cuttings that I took. This was actually the video on propagating Dipladenia sanderi has proven to be one of my most watched videos. It's bizarre how these things work, but they're quite slow getting going, but all three cuttings took and I've stuck them all in one pot, and my idea is that will then start to trail up here. Now that was also to join in with the Bougainvillea, which is going okay. It's not really in the sun at the moment. I think it needs to go a little bit higher up for that. So what's in bloom video, this one. So I will also show you a few things that's of interest. So not necessarily flowers, but I'll just show you things that I find interesting. And of course it's inside and out as well. So I've got some footage of what's going on in the garden as well. So this is in bloom. I could really cut these off and try and encourage some of the branching shoots. But I mean I like them as they are, they're fine, it'll do its own thing. I did come across some information that says Mandevilla and Dipladenia sanderi, and I've been using them interchangeably as if it's the same plant. I came across some information, various sources actually, that said they were actually different plants. However, the information was contradictory to say the least, because what it described as actually a Mandevilla, mine seemed to be both. So the leaves, I think if I've got this correct, the leaves on mine seem to be Mandevilla, but yet the fact that it climbs would indicate that it's a Dipladenia. I also found something else that merged the two and called it a Dipladenia Mandevilla, or a Mandevilla sanderi. Who knows? But anyway, that's the thing on that. So Pelargoniums are still looking good, but they are kind of going over a little bit now, but never fear, they will come out again soon. That's a new trailing one that I've got. The fusca, very slow. They're really nice, the pictures, but it's not really getting going in terms of leaf jumps yet. The lots of detail, they're really nice pictures, but for whatever reason it just doesn't want to do anything. The Kohleria at the background, I'm waiting very patiently for that one to come. That one's called Sunshine, which is very apt for today. So again, this one at Ventricosa is supposed to be very, very vigorous, but mine isn't for whatever reason. It is growing, but slowly. You may have seen the Begonia. This is maculata weightii. I've never seen this before. And the spots apparently refer to the fact that trouts have spots. Little Pelargonium. That's quite a nice Pelargonium. It's a very small flowered one, but I like it nonetheless. That's an angel Pelargonium. Can't remember the name, and it's eskay verglo, and that one's been going since April. And it did have an attack of aphids. The frangipani, that lost some of its leaves because it had an attack of spider mite. And the dreadful hibiscus, I'm trying to neglect it. Neglect is something I find very difficult. You would think neglect is something easy to do, but I find neglect difficult because I tend to kill them with care. So let's move along. Again, going over. If you like ferns, this Phlebodium's a nice one to have. This one's nice and crispy and crunchy. Moving down, now this one this is the best it's done. That's the best cane of blooms I've ever had on this Dendrobium nobile starclass. I mean, it's bloomed all the way through, well, most of winter in fact, but this is the best showing. Really nice, delicate tinges of lilac on the end there, and the kind of egg yellow yolk. Hey, I'm getting to sound like Roger here, aren't I? So yeah, and it's got some more, loads and loads of flowers over there about to come, and it's beautiful. And there is a very slight fragrance to it as well if you get your nose in there, so I quite like that one. Another couple of ferns still doing well. The Nepenthes, burkei in the corner there, doing much better now since I got it in the light, and of course since I also stopped giving it rainwater and started, well, of course my rainwater is different to everybody else's because mine does have nutrients in it, so since I started giving it RO water, it's definitely improved and is giving me some nice pictures with lovely colour on them as well. Absolutely love this begonia. This is really going for it here. So this is Begonia gryphon. Gorgeous colours, but when you look from underneath you get this, I don't know if you can see it on here, but you get this lovely bronzy colour which is visible from pretty much any angle, and of course the fantastic trunk there with its giraffe patterns on it. So this is why I'm getting into begonias at the moment, because this one has just kind of set me off with them. So it's all about Streptocarpus at the moment. Again, some of these are going over, but they will keep coming. Some of the blooms are looking a little bit bedraggled, and they don't like this really hot weather. Ed'll be pleased. My first Phragmipedium. So this is a Phragmipedium ainsworthii, and just for Ed's benefit, dead easy to grow these. Anyone can grow Phragmipedium. No, only joking. I'm sure that's all down to Ed's care and attention. Some more of the Streptocarpus. So what have we got here? We've got this purple one is Katie. This is polka dot purple. That was absolutely spectacular, but that's going over now, but it will come back. It'll only be a matter of weeks and I'll have some more buds back on that. My other frangipani did come okay, so this one, I don't know whether it'll flower or not for me, we'll just have to see. The Epidendrums, this is looking nice now. We've got 2 of the flower heads, and we've got 3 more to come there, so that's going to be excellent. That needs a repot once that one's over. And if you didn't see my video on Epidendrums, worth a look. Let's just move along. Oh, that's first I've seen this one. This is a new one that's, well, it's not a new one, it's a new bloom. It's only just come out this last day or two. I don't know whether you think that's attractive or not. I quite like that one. It's the thing with this one is the fragrance is absolutely superb, well worth it. It's actually been in bud for ages, probably been in bud for weeks and weeks and weeks, well, months. Let's string them together, a few months. Not totally open yet, so you can't really see all the patterning inside there. So this is an Encyclia radiata. Might have a few other names, and that's one for a future video. Titania there, another Pelargonium. Again, these blooms are going over, but as you can see there's plenty more buds to come. Bougainvillea, just move her down. So we've got lots of Streptocarpus down here, and some of these cuttings that I took, they're about to bloom as well. And I bought some new ones courtesy of Rachel from Gardening at Duenza, from her recommendation of a guy who imports these, or I don't know what he does, whether he grows them himself or imports them, I don't know, but apparently these are cultivars from a Ukrainian company called Dimitris, and so these are all DS cultivars, so I'm very much looking forward to these blooming, and there are a few buds on them as well, so we will definitely keep an eye out for these, because these are wonderful. If the pictures are anything to go by anyway, and I trust Rachel, I'm sure she wouldn't buy things that aren't interesting. So let's move on round. Moving over to this side. So what else have we got over here? A few more streps, a couple of begonias down there, and my pings looking much better now that they've really got going. It took a while. Where's that one over there? There you go. Another ping there doing its job. A couple of my new little begonias. I can't wait for these to get going, especially when you've got colour like that. That is spectacular. Moving on up, doing it very quickly today. That one's wilting, they're all wilting. I'm still enjoying the Hippeastrums. These have been in bloom for ages, and I've always thought of these as kind of Christmas plants, but certainly not Christmas now, is it? And this Mastivali just won't stop blooming. I want to repot this. I've not looked it up, but I'm guessing you probably repot them in spring anyway. But I just think once it stopped blooming, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to get it repotted. And a couple of ferns, a new fern here. This one is Pteris quadriaurita tricolour. I bought this one from a place in Ireland, and it apparently has, the new fronds are quite bronzy. No, it's not really done any growth, it's just kind of settling in. Moving on over, my little seedlings of sundews, my recently potted cephalotus. It's not dead yet, although Dendrobium cuthbertsonii might be soon. That's looking like a failure. It's never flowered for me, and it's always looked like it was going to bloom, but it didn't. Tradescantia there, that's just getting going. That's Tradescantia fluminensis Nanook lilac. My divisions from my cephalotus, but we're supposed to be doing what's in bloom, aren't we? So let's move along. Phylogeny seems to be okay. Remember, it had all the brown markings, but it's still got the brown markings, but it doesn't seem to have damaged it any, and they've not gone any worse. So that one's okay. Tradescantia in the corner. Oh, and the wonderful Nepenthes Gaia. And this is the biggest picture I've ever had. Absolutely superb colour, superb patterning, very, very sticky. Although it's not doing its job very well because there's nothing in it. Although for some reason, I'm not really getting many insects in here, although I'm not complaining. I'll just take you around there so you can have a look at this. It's looking excellent. Again, since I started watering it with our own water, since I moved it to a brighter position, definitely seems to be doing better. And there's another new one there, and that will really swell up, hopefully to an even bigger one than this picture here. It's all about pictures, isn't it? Moving on up to my asparagus fern, which isn't a fern. And let's head over into the warm side. So, warm side. Zabrina, looking nice, trailing on the video I did on this black-eyed Susan from Bergia Brownie. That's back again. Remember, I chopped it right back, and it seems to have done the trick. Repotted it, and here it goes off again. So that's kind of rejuvenated. And I know you've all seen this loads of times, but it's still looking very, very good. Here it is. It's looking actually like it's desperate for a water. If it's looking a bit floppy at the moment, but once I've given it to water, it'll be fine. So there's my Mandevilla stroke Dipladenia sanderi, and at the moment it seems to have stopped at about, I don't know, 2.5, 3 meters. But that's fine. Quite happy with that. Let's move on down. So there's a few things in spike there which do seem to have recovered. I've just done a video on this one. This is Tradescantia pallida purpurea. Epicatleia, looking very nice. I'm really waiting for this to be over with as well, because I want this to repot. Look at these roots. I mean, what am I going to do with them? I don't know, but it needs a repot. I can't leave those to kind of go back there. That Cattleya that I repotted, that's fine. There's loads of new growths on that one. That's looking really nice. I'm hoping to get some in a few months there. A few things ready to come out in bloom. Lots of pictures on these now. I've decided with Nepenthes not let them vine, because once they start vining, that's when they stop producing the pictures. The pictures are low down, and they seem to much more easily produce pictures when they're low down. I mean, we've got loads on here now. I mean, I quite like this one, but it's not my favourite. This one is Rebecca Soper. It's not, it's not full of colour, is it? But it's okay. It's working. It's doing all right. Where are we going? Hoya that never blooms. This is about to bloom soon. Well, I'm not showing you that until it does. A couple more Nepenthes here, again very slow growing. That one is Hookeriana. It's supposed to be a lowland one, but it's not really done anything. And that's it for now. So over in the greenhouse, these are just been cut back. A video I did quite recently. If you cut them back, then you get your pink, and there's the pink. But it's nowhere near as pink as you get when it comes around to springtime. So it's just a case of being patient, and then you'll get that pink again. So one last little view over there, and for now, as far as blooms on the inside go in July, that's all I've got for you. But bear with me, because I've got some blooms for the outside. So let's head on over there. So we're going to start with my Abyssinian banana, the Ainsworthii morellii. And this likes loads of water, and you know, you would think lots of sun and keep out the wind, and yes, of course it does like the sun, but the wind didn't seem to, and we had some really bad gales recently, and it didn't seem to do any damage whatsoever. It's fine. I expected the leaves to all shred. My little olive tree here, these aren't olives, these are all buds, so these will come out. A lot of them did drop off last year, but I did get some olives. Not that they need quite a lot of processing, you can't really do much with them. Past a couple of little no ID dahlias that I did a video on, I think at the end of last year. Nothing very exciting there, they're just dahlias. And onto my carnivorous plant table. So this is my Dionaea muscipula, which has really benefited from dividing it. These were the stronger of the plants that I divided, and you can just see to the left there some of the not so strong plants, but they're getting pictures on them. The Sarracenia, I think this one's Purpurea. This other one I think could be Rubra, and this is one of the blooms that I've got, or the bloom that I've got on it this year. It's the first time I've had a Sarracenia bloom. Really nice, unusual thing. Past a few roses and an acer and a very common Hypericum there. So we missed this out, just a couple of David Austin roses, and at the back there we've got my Brugmansia, which I nearly chucked it out, I don't know how many times, because it just doesn't seem to want to thrive. So here we've got some Lychnis, if I can remember it rightly, Lychnis coronaria, which is very apt given the current coronavirus situation. And this is what happens if you have a white Lychnis and a magenta Lychnis in the same garden. You end up with these self-seeded hybrids, which I quite like them actually. They've got the various splashes of pink on them, but if you're not careful you can end up with just white, which I don't think are as nice. This is just like a little yellow snapdragon there. I think this is a self-seeded Hebe. Past a hosta, and one of the new grasses that I've recently put in there, a bronze one, and another Hebe there, that always do well in UK gardens unless you get really dry winds. So there's the white one I was talking about, just self-seeded, don't like them. This is my wildflower border. It was looking absolutely superb until we had the gales. That's Valerium. Grows really well wild down in the south of the UK. You very rarely see it up north actually. So this wildflower flower border is not looking its best at the moment, I have to say, but there are still one or two gems in the middle of it. So that's like a wild dianthus, a wild sweet William, but you can see it's definitely been battered. A few oxeye daisies and another wild sweet William off to the left there, which we'll come to. There it is. That's really nice, I like that. All I do is whenever I get any seeds on the front of gardening magazines, I just throw them. So there is obviously one of the cultivated Sweet Williams. Just have a look across this border. So this is the magenta Lychnis I was talking about, which I think is a much nicer plant than the white ones or the kind of mixed hybrids. So we've got a fuchsia and a new penstemon I've put in there in my pot. This is one of my salvias. This is one like a perennial one. I can treat it really rough,
and very unusual for a salvia in this country to go all through the winter, but that's in its 3rd year now. Another magenta lichnis. I think that's a really nice plant. It's a shame actually it's quite close to the salvia because they're very similar colours. And at the back there we've got the moisture loving Ligularia, and I've got a canna that I've recently purchased. Wants a little bit of deadheading there, and a couple more plants. There's Anthodecia and of course a lavender. Hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one. Bye.